Thanks so much for joining us once again on The Bright Side. I am Pharmacist Ben. Yesterday we talked about the gentle, benign, non-toxic nature of colloidal minerals, be those colloidal minerals that are found in plants or colloidal minerals that are found in plant-derived nutritional products like the ones designed by all the folks at Longevity. The confusion, and it's understandable confusion, the confusion around minerals and colloidal minerals derives from the fact that there are so many different ways that minerals, which are basically the elements that you see on the periodic table, there are so many ways that minerals can appear. The problem, the real problem, with minerals like mercury and aluminum and arsenic and cadmium comes from the ones that are produced as industrial waste products, pollutants, if you will. Some of these waste product minerals are toxic because of their radioactivity. Others are toxic not because they're radioactive, but because they poison chemical reactions in the body. By the way, as I said yesterday, this Fukushima thing, even though we're not hearing about it, is not going away. Last week, they just found radioactivity from the Fukushima explosion in tuna in California. So the Fukushima thing is affecting us here in this country. And protecting ourselves might be something that we want to think about. The good news is there are a whole bunch of different strategies, some nutritional, some non-nutritional, that we can use to protect ourselves from this toxicity, radioactive toxicity, or any toxicity. First of all, there are minerals that can act as protectants from toxic minerals. There are nutritional minerals that can act as protectants from toxic minerals. If you look at the periodic table, you're going to see minerals in rows going horizontally, and you're going to see minerals in columns going up and down vertically. As it turns out, minerals are elements that are close to each other on the periodic table, either underneath each other or on top of each other or next to each other in a left or right kind of way. Minerals that are adjacent to each other, that neighbor each other, have an electronic structure that is close enough to the biological system, close enough for the biological system to work with either or. So, for example, aluminum is right next to magnesium. If you look at the periodic table, aluminum is element 13, magnesium is element 12, because these things are so close to each other in their electrical makeup. Under conditions of magnesium deficiency, which is very, very common, we've spoken in the past how magnesium deficiency is probably the most common of all mineral deficiencies, and one of the most important deficiencies of all nutrients. Under conditions of magnesium deficiency, the body will be more likely to absorb aluminum. In other words, the body is basically trying to make do with what's available to it. It would like to have magnesium. There's over 300 different chemical systems in the body, enzyme systems in the body, that depend on magnesium. But if it can't find magnesium, the body will make do with what it can find that's close enough. And remember, aluminum's right next to magnesium. It has a very similar electronic nature. Aluminum is close enough to magnesium. So, if you're not getting enough magnesium, the body is going to end up taking in more aluminum. And because magnesium is involved in detoxification, taking magnesium can not only help prevent the absorption of toxic aluminum, but you're also going to be improving your ability to handle all toxicity. Magnesium is a very important mineral in the detoxification systems in the body. So, just taking magnesium, just using magnesium, supplemental magnesium, is a great way not only to protect you from absorption of aluminum, but it's a great way to upregulate your body's detoxification systems in general. In the case of arsenic, which is element number 33 on the periodic table, selenium is element number 34, and it turns out that the selenium can have protective effects against arsenic. If you're not getting enough selenium, your body will be more likely to take in arsenic. Arsenic kind of sort of looks like selenium to the body. So if there's no selenium, it will try to make do with arsenic. If you make sure you're getting your 200 to 400 micrograms of selenium a day, you will be much less likely to take in arsenic. And, like magnesium, selenium can act to improve the body's built-in detox enzymes, so you get additional protective benefits in an all-around sense. Selenium is also a good mineral to protect against mercury poisoning. Interestingly, fish, which are considered to be one of the worst sources of mercury, even the FDA is recommending that people reduce their intake of fish to less than a pound a week. Fish, as it turns out, contains relatively high amounts of selenium, which can have an important protective effect against mercury toxicity that you would otherwise get from fish. The Japanese, for whom seafood is an important staple and have done a lot of research on the protective effects against protective effects of selenium against mercury poisoning, have found that when they add selenium to the diets of certain animals, they could achieve, quote, complete protection, unquote, from large amounts of mercury. And here in the United States, the EPA describes selenium as an element that is antagonistic to the toxic effects of mercury. So it may turn out that the whole mercury in seafood controversy may be much ado about nothing. Personally, I am reserving judgment, but if you want more information about seafood and mercury, check out the website fishscam.com, fishscam.com, fishscam.com. Now, the proximity of elements on the periodic table is not the only criteria that determines how protective a mineral will be. For example, iodine and calcium may serve as a protective role against arsenic poisoning, even though they are located some distance from arsenic on the periodic table. In the case of lead, zinc and iron and calcium can be very protective. And as with magnesium and selenium deficiencies in zinc and iron are very, very common, especially zinc. We've spoken a lot about the importance of zinc, how little it costs. You can get a 3-month supply of zinc picolinate for less than $6 or $7. It's $6 or $7 for a 3-month supply. It's pretty unfortunate that many people are not getting enough zinc. All right, we'll continue our discussion on protected minerals when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Our number is 866-582-9933. Don't go away. All right, we're talking about minerals that you can use to protect yourself from radioactive minerals or from toxic minerals. In the case of lead, we were talking about how you can use zinc to protect yourself from lead poisoning. Zinc has got a tremendous amount of benefits, health benefits. It's important for the immune system. It's critically important for the skin. I consider it to be a must-have for kids who are dealing with acne. It's helpful for adrenal health. If you're diabetic or you're having any problems handling sugar, zinc is a must-have mineral. Everybody needs zinc, and it's only about $6 or $7 for a 3-month supply. It's absolutely crazy that zinc deficiency is so common. Zinc is also, by the way, protective against cadmium. By now, many people are aware of using potassium iodide as a protective strategy for radioactive iodine. When Fukushima went off last March, everybody wanted potassium iodide, but in my humble opinion, a much better way to protect yourself from radioactive iodine is to make sure you're getting enough nutritional iodine. Just like the body is going to be more readily take in certain toxic minerals when other minerals are missing, it will also take in radioactive iodine when nutritional iodine is missing. Seafood can be a great source of iodine, as can seaweed. You can also get something called iodoral off of the internet, IODERAL, iodoral. I'd be taking around 12.5 milligrams, although you can probably take more. People take 25 milligrams of iodine, 50 milligrams of iodine a day. Your doctor will probably be shocked at this kind of daily intake of iodine because the RDA for iodine is 125 micrograms, 100 times less than the 12.5 milligram dose that I'm personally recommending, that I personally take. Your doctor will probably be shocked, but it turns out that iodine has got a lot of really important effects. And protection from goiter, which is really what the RDA is based on, is just one of the important health benefits of iodine. In addition to serving as a protective nutrient for radioactive iodine, nutritional iodine is very, very important for the glands. Everybody knows about using iodine for the thyroid gland, but iodine is also important for the pituitary gland. It's important for the adrenal glands, and for women, it is most especially important for the mammary glands. There's actually more iodine in the breasts than there is in the thyroid, and supplemental iodine may have a protective effect against cancer of the breast, as well as fibrocystic breast disease, and low levels of iodine are associated with liver cancer. Dr. David Brownstein has written a lot about iodine. If you're interested in learning about iodine, I highly recommend his book, Iodine, Why You Need It, Dr. David Brownstein, and you can either Google his name or you Google the book, Iodine, Why You Need It. Potassium can be protective against radioactive cesium, cesium-137. Iron can protect you from plutonium. Calcium can protect you from radioactive strontium, strontium-90. The bottom line here, folks, is in terms of protection from toxic and radioactive minerals, make sure that you're getting the good minerals through food and through nutritional supplementation, and that is going to be one of your best nutritional strategies for protection against toxic minerals as well as from radioactive minerals. Another important tool for protection from toxicity we mentioned a little bit about is seaweed. I love seaweed and sea vegetation. It is amazingly nutritional stuff. It's loaded with protein. It's got B vitamins in it. It's got minerals in it. Everybody knows probably that seaweed contains iodine. But seaweed also has another protective effect that's very interesting. Seaweed acts as a chelating agent. Chelation is a fancy chemical term that refers to a type of magnetic attraction. And there's a couple important components in seaweed that can have this magnetic chelation effect. Seaweeds contain substances called polyuronides, polyuronides, polyuronides. And these polyuronides have a special affinity for toxic and radioactive elements, especially lead and mercury and cadmium. Also, seaweeds are a great source of chlorophyll, which is one of nature's most important chelating agents. The polyuronides and the chlorophyll together make seaweed an incredibly helpful detoxifying substance. And by the way, you don't have to eat seaweed to get the protective effects of chlorophyll. Any green vegetables will get you chlorophyll, and you can also buy liquid chlorophyll in a health food store or on the internet. Liquid chlorophyll is completely non-toxic, and doing a teaspoonful a day of the stuff can give you some really good protection against heavy metals or against radioactive metal toxicity. It's completely non-toxic. Liquid chlorophyll makes a great breath freshener, especially if you add a couple of drops of peppermint oil to it. Couple things to keep in mind if you're going to use liquid chlorophyll. You do not want to take it close to your nutritional supplements. Chlorophyll is just as likely to chelate, to magnetically attract the good minerals as it is the bad ones. And also, chlorophyll is a resin, and if you spill some on your counter or on your clothes, you aren't going to get it off very readily. So be careful how you handle liquid chlorophyll. You might end up with a green stain on your counter that's impossible to get out. Another important tool against heavy metal toxicity is clay. You can use bentonite clay or kaolin clay, which you can find pretty much any health food stores. We haven't talked a lot about using clay. Clay is a wonderful, wonderful nutritional adjunct. It's not specifically a nutritional supplement. There are some nutrients in clay, but it's got a real good ability to magnetically attract, to chelate heavy metals. And clays can also have some benefits for digestive distress, especially diarrhea and loose stools. And then there is what I consider to be the most important and versatile of the non-nutritional protective tools against heavy metal poisoning or radioactive poisons, or really any poisons at all, and that is activated charcoal. Activated charcoal is super absorbent stuff. It is completely non-toxic. It makes an ideal remedy for all kinds of poisons. It's actually considered the detoxification element of choice in the world of pharmacy. Activated charcoal is called the universal antidote, and for good reason. Activated charcoal can pretty much mop up any organic chemicals and pretty much any poisonous substance out of the body. You want to take activated charcoal as close to the ingestion of a poison as possible. If you're using it in a preventive fashion, make sure you're taking it separate from any nutritional supplement, because like chlorophyll, it'll keep your vitamins and minerals from being absorbed in the same way that it keeps toxic metals and radioactive substances and poisons from being absorbed. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. We're coming back on the bright side. Got a line open for you at 866-582-9933. If you're on hold, hang tight. We'll try to get to all our phone calls today. Don't go away. We're coming. Prescription drugs. I want to finish up real quick here on what I consider to be the most important, certainly the most versatile of the non-nutritional protective tools against heavy metal poisoning, and that is activated charcoal. Activated charcoal has zillions of tiny little pores that can trap poisons, and that's why it's called the universal the universal antidote because it can protect you from all kinds of different poisons. If you go out drinking and you overindulge, taking activated charcoal before you go to bed can actually reduce the severity of a hangover, maybe even prevent it entirely. You can take a couple tablespoons of the powder, put it in water, or if you like the capsules, take about 15 grams or so of the capsules, which is going to be a bunch of capsules. The capsules tend to come in a 250 or 260 milligram size, so you're going to have to take a bunch of capsules. That's why I keep the activated charcoal powder in my pharmacy. If you know somebody who's abusing drugs, if you're abusing drugs, cocaine, methamphetamine, or any other toxic illegal substances, activated charcoal can be a great way to speed up recovery and to help you withdraw. Activated charcoal can be used to treat food poisoning, and you can actually use activated charcoal to whiten your teeth. You can make a little poultice with it with some water. Put a couple drops of maybe some peppermint oil in there, or maybe a drop of lavender oil. Swish it up, and you can brush your teeth with it, and it can whiten your teeth. In the book Alternative Cures, the author Bill Gottlieb talks about using activated charcoal to prevent cold sores. You can put activated charcoal, at least according to Bill Gottlieb, you can put activated charcoal right on the cold sore itself or on a canker sore inside your mouth. It will suck up the virus if you catch it early enough, and it can prevent infection. Activated charcoal can be used for gas, to treat gas or diarrhea. It can help lower blood fats. It can help lower cholesterol. It's actually been used as an anti-aging treatment. You can take activated charcoal capsules once or twice a week to prevent liver toxicity and to improve brain health. Activated charcoal has been shown to prevent accumulation of poisons in the brain. It can improve the health of the kidneys, the liver, the adrenal glands. There is all kinds of good stuff about activated charcoal. If you're interested in the anti-aging properties of activated charcoal, you want to take 30 grams in divided doses once or twice a week. I wouldn't use activated charcoal on a daily basis, but taking 30 grams or so in divided doses, maybe 6 5-gram doses a day or 3 10-gram doses a day, once or twice a week, can help clear out your brain, clear out your kidneys, prevent accumulation of toxicity in the liver and the adrenal glands as well, and give you some nice anti-aging benefits. All right, tomorrow we're going to talk about some more nutritional strategies that you can use to protect yourself from toxic and radioactive metals, and I'm going to tell you what I think is the most important of all the vitamins and even minerals when it comes to detoxification and protection from industrially produced contaminants and pollutants. And I'm going to tell you what I think is the most important nutritional detoxification substance. This stuff is really cheap, it's really effective, and most people aren't getting anywhere near the amount they need of this stuff to take full advantage of its really stupendously important health benefits for anti-aging and for detoxification and just for overall wellness. We will talk about that tomorrow. You're going to want to tune in. Right now, I think it's time to the phone. So without further ado, let's take our first phone call. Joshua in Texas, what's up?
Hey, how you doing today?
What's going on, buddy?
Well, my wife was diagnosed with polycystic ovary syndrome about 7 or 8 years ago, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with what that is.
Oh, yes, I am. Very well.
Okay, good, because we've been trying to
know all about it. And it's easy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Somebody told me I should say that whenever I say easy. There's so many things in the world of health and nutrition that are easy. Easy, easy, easy. Crohn's disease, easy. Celiac disease, easy. Eczema, psoriasis, easy. Acne, easy. These are easy things to take care of once you understand the chemistry of it. And polycystic ovarian syndrome is no different. It's easy. You want to think about insulin and you want to think about estrogen. Your typical polycystic ovarian syndrome patient is pre-diabetic and has problems with estrogen and insulin metabolism. So, Joshua, your wife, how old?
She is 31, I believe. Yeah, 31.
Okay. Is she built round, buxom, curvy? Josh? Do we have Josh? Did we lose Josh? Hello?
I'm here.
I think we lost. Oh, okay, Josh, is your wife built curvy? Is she round, buxom kind of thing?
She would consider herself brown, but she's athletic. I mean, she weighs about 160 pounds right now.
But curvy. That's
Yes.
I'm not saying overweight or obese or anything like that. But she's built curvy. In the business, we would say she's built estrogenically. People could be built estrogenically, or they could be built androgenically. Estrogenically refers to the kind of body type that's round and larger breasts and bigger hips, and those are the people that tend to have problems with polycystic ovarian syndrome because of the connection to estrogen. The other type of body type is lean and muscular, and we've all seen women who have kind of no body fat, and you see their veins coming through their arms, and they're built very lean, flat-chested or relatively flat-chested. Those are women who are androgenic, and they don't tend to have polycystic ovarian syndrome, but they tend to have other problems. PCOS you're going to want to deal with as an insulin and estrogen issue. So first thing you want to do is you want to stabilize the blood sugar. Now, there's a couple things to do, a couple ways you can do that. Number one, the easiest way is to eliminate foods that spike the blood sugar. Bread, pasta, rice, potatoes, corn, cereals of all kinds, grains of all kinds, certainly fruit juice and dessert kinds of foods, candies and cakes and all of those. Anything that messes up her blood sugar is going to throw off PCOS, and I'll tell you why. When your blood sugar goes up, your insulin goes up correspondingly to help handle that blood sugar. Insulin's got several roles. One of insulin's roles, and it's actually it's a minor role for insulin, is to help the body handle sugar. When your sugar goes up, your pancreas will pump out insulin in an effort to pull that sugar back down, and that sugar will go into fat cells and get stored as fat. So that's the reason really why sugar makes you fat. Sugar goes up, insulin comes out to handle it. Insulin's role is to put that sugar into fat cells. But here's where the problem comes in. Insulin is also a growth hormone. It makes things grow. So when you're getting skin tags, when things are growing inappropriately, fibroids or cysts, you want to think about insulin. Polycystic ovarian syndrome is polycysts. It means you get lots of cysts in your ovary. Insulin, being a growth hormone, will make cysts grow in the ovary. It'll cause things to grow. So the first thing you want to do is to reduce the insulin, and you do that by reducing insulin-spiking foods, all those foods that I just named. Now, once those cysts start to grow in the ovary, cysts in the ovary is basically ovarian tissue, and cysts in the ovary will produce estrogen, and they will produce testosterone. So now you have lots of cells in the ovary growing really fast, producing female hormone and producing male hormone, and this is where the symptoms of PCOS come from. So hang tight, Joshua, because I'm going to finish this up, and we're going to take care of your wife's PCOS. She doesn't have to have it any longer once she makes some nutritional adjustments. Our number is 866-582-9933. I am Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We got more good health information coming at you right after this. Don't go away. All right, we're back on The Bright Side. I am Pharmacist Ben. We're talking to Joshua in Texas about polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS. Didn't used to see a lot of that, but these days, at least in the skincare world, I'm seeing a lot of PCOS because one of the main symptoms of PCOS involves skin health. And the reason why is because cysts in the ovaries, polycystic ovarian syndrome, you get lots of cysts in the ovaries, secondary, following problems with insulin and problems with blood sugar. PCOS is a pre-diabetic condition. PCOS patients are on the road to diabetes, along with 1 out of every 6 or so Americans. PCOS is a pre-diabetic condition. Insulin and insulin sensitivity is affected. Elevated insulin can cause cysts to develop. Cysts in the ovaries will produce male hormone and female hormone, which means you will have symptoms of elevations in female hormone, which include problems with your periods, painful breasts or fibrocystic breast disease, God forbid, higher risks of estrogenic cancers as well, jitteriness, nervousness, anxiety, all of which are signs of excess estrogen. Problems with body fat, problems losing weight, problems with energy, fatigue. It would be hard to get out and do stuff. Estrogen kind of slows you down. Problems with libido. Estrogen is an anti-libido hormone. So estrogen is a growth hormone. So in addition to insulin, you now have problems with fibroids and cysts and the like, on top of problems with insulin. Does this sound familiar, by the way, Joshua? Any of these symptoms that I'm talking about? Okay, good. So this is the sign. These are the signs of excess estrogen. However, your polycystic ovarian syndrome gets a double whammy because not only is she going to have signs of excess estrogen, she's going to also have signs of excess male hormone too, which includes hair on the face, maybe a mustache, maybe chin whiskers, problems with acne, problems with back acne, aggressive behavior issues, mood issues, all of which are signs of excess testosterone. So your PCOS patient is not a very happy camper. You're dealing with someone with problems with weight, problems with libido, problems with fibroids, problems with cysts, problems with their skin, and they got a mustache. Not cool. So what do? Well, first of all, you got to treat the insulin. That's the cause of the whole problem. You got to treat the blood sugar issues. Treat your polycystic ovarian, your PCOS wife, or anybody who you know that has PCOS. Treat them as if you would a pre-diabetic or a diabetic. Restrict, eliminate all those foods we talked about. Get her on nutritional supplements that help her handle insulin or can help resensitize her body to insulin. The Sweeties from Longevity is absolutely a must-have. It's indispensable for all blood sugar issues. It's made with chromium and vanadium, two extremely important minerals for handling blood sugar. Make sure she's getting magnesium. I'd be taking 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of magnesium a day. Magnesium can have multiple benefits. It's very important for the detoxification system. It's very important for the blood sugar system, and it's got a wonderful relaxing effect as well. Yesterday we talked about how important magnesium was for calcium as well, so it'll help her body use calcium. Make sure she's getting 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of magnesium. If she has problems sleeping, have her take a little magnesium before she goes to bed, maybe 500 milligrams or so. I like the OsteoMag product from Longevity, and I think you'll get a small amount of magnesium in the OsteoFX product that you get in the Healthy Start Pack. So you got magnesium, you got chromium, you got vanadium in the Sweeties. 50 milligrams of zinc are important for all hormone issues. They're important for estrogen metabolism, and they're also important for testosterone metabolism. It's also important for testosterone metabolism. 50 milligrams of zinc. Essential fatty acids and all fatty nutrients are unspeakably important for all estrogen issues, for really all female hormone issues and all male hormone issues too, but especially for female hormone issues. Get her on the ultimate EFAs, have her taking 3 capsules 3 times a day. Now, I didn't ask you about malabsorption of fats, and I didn't ask you about digestive problems, but there probably are some digestive things going on. It's unusual for somebody to jump right into blood sugar problems without having digestive problems first. Remember, on our triangle of disease, blood sugar and insulin follow the digestive system. The digestive system is always primal, then you go into blood sugar issues, and then you go into your adrenal and thyroid issues. So I didn't ask you about the digestive issues. Chances are she does have something going on in the digestive system, and that needs to be addressed if you know that's the case. Eliminating digestive triggers, using probiotics, 80 billion units a day, multiple strains of bacteria. Digestive enzymes help for all inflammatory issues as well as digestive issues, so you might want to consider getting her on the ultimate enzymes. 3 or 4 tablets capsules after meals is a good place to be. And then continuing on with nutritional supplements for the blood sugar system, taurine can be very helpful for fats and for the blood sugar system. It also has a role to play in mood and in brain health. 500 milligrams of taurine might be helpful for you. Then for the male hormone system, because you remember testosterone is involved here as well as estrogen, there's a couple things that you might want to consider. In addition to the zinc, in addition to the essential fatty acids, see if you can get her to get on some saw palmetto. That might be helpful. Saw palmetto is an herb that helps with testosterone metabolism. There's an essential fatty acid called GLA, which is a breakdown product of omega-6 fats. You can get her on maybe 100 to 500 milligrams a day of GLA, and that might help as well. Don't forget about the basics. The B complex is very important for all hormone issues, especially vitamins B5 and vitamin B6. You'll find those in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. It wouldn't hurt you to get on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, have her sip on it all day long. If she wants to do just the B complex, have her take a B100 vitamin pill, and then have her take an additional 100 milligrams or so of vitamin B6 maybe once or twice a day, and then she can do about 500 milligrams or so of vitamin B5 once or twice a day, pantothenic acid. Now, I didn't get into the adrenal glands and the thyroid because I gave you a ton of information, but once you get going on all of that, you're going to start to notice some results then you're going to want to work with some adrenal issues and some thyroid issues, because she's on the road to hypothyroidism as well with the PCOS, and that's something that you want to address further on down the road. But that's enough for you to start. You should start to notice results. If you do everything I said, you should start to notice results within 30 days. You'll notice results right away, but really significant results within 30 days. Thanks so much. Appreciate your call from Texas. Joshua, moving on. Let's see if we can squeeze another one in here. Mike in Texas, what's up?
Hey, Ben. Appreciate all your information, man. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Narcolepsy. I have a friend that's got that, and that's supposed to be I'm sure you know, have heard of it.
A lot of people, it's a much more common disease than a lot of people recognize. I think it's like 1 in 1,000 people, maybe even more than that, have narcolepsy. Narcolepsy is when you just fall asleep. You'd be talking to somebody and zap, you're out. And nobody really knows what causes it, although it seems to have something to do with electrical activity in the brain. The way I would be dealing with narcolepsy, a couple things. First of all, there seems to be a relationship between insulin, surprise, surprise, and the hormone that drops, the hormone that is not found in the right amounts in narcolepsy. It's something called hypocretin, Hypocretin. Some people call it orexin, Orexin. Hypocretin and orexin are alert hormones. They make you alert. And one of the best ways to get your hypocretin up and to get your orexin up, your alert hormones up, believe it or not, is to not eat. Fasting elevates hypocretin, and fasting elevates orexin. So one of the first things you might want to think about for your narcolepsy patient or your narcolepsy friend is to reduce calories and practice a little intermittent fasting. See if your friend can connect the narcolepsy up to either specific foods or times that the meals, specific foods or specific meals. In other words, maybe your friend has narcolepsy a couple hours after meals all the time, and that could indicate that intermittent fasting might be of benefit. Secondly, you might want to consider using nutritional supplements that help with the electrical conductivity in the brain, and there's quite a few of them. We mentioned taurine, Taurine, 500 to 1,000 milligrams of taurine might be helpful. Using electrolytes might be helpful, potassium especially. Most of us are getting way too much sodium, and sodium and potassium are in balance in the body. When you're getting a lot of sodium, your potassium potassium levels will become relatively low. So using potassium might be helpful. Get her on the BTT, anything with electrolytes really. The Ultimate Classic, the Ultimate Tangy Tangerine, vegetable juices, anything that you could do that will provide electrolytes, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and such. Then don't forget about the B complex for all energy issues. The B complex is very important. I'd be taking the entire B complex, although vitamin B1 thiamine is especially important for energy and for sugar metabolism. But the entire B complex, you can use a B100 pill, or you can use the Ultimate Classic or the Tangy Tangerine. Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Tyrosine is like caffeine, but it's an amino acid, and that can be helpful. It's important for thyroid function, and low levels have been associated with narcolepsy. 500 milligrams a day of tyrosine might be helpful. There's a couple other things you could do, but that should be enough to start you off. Thanks so much, Mike in Texas, for calling. Thank you to all our callers, and thank you to all our letter writers. Appreciate all you guys. Stay tuned for Alex Jones next on most of these stations. Take a look at my website, brightsideben.com. Click on the Join Now link if you want to help me in my mission to educate the world about the importance of nutritional supplementation. Whatever you're dealing with, folks, there's a nutritional solution. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. You've been listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back at you tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining us. Take care, folks. Bye for now.